At Junkyard Haunts, we turn trash into haunts. Today we're going to be making the spider potion. I know, it is probably the best name you have ever heard of. To start, we're going to take an old medicine bottle and build up some paper towels because we want the spider to kind of be crawling around on top of our potion bottle. So you're going to build it up with the base by just crumpling the paper up. Get the right size that you want. You see here I rip it up a few times until I get the size that I like. And then I just take this tape and just tape it down to make sure it doesn't unravel on itself. And since spiders have more than one little round bump to make up its body, I just do the same part for the head. For the legs though, you can continue to do the same process. Just take paper towels and bunch it up in a line and tape it on. But instead I decided to use a hot glue gun to make its legs, which I figured would be a lot faster and look a little more smooth in the end. You just spread the hot glue gun on for its legs, just spread it out as long as you want. I mean, this spider doesn't have to be real, so if you want its legs to completely encompass the bottle, that may look really cool. And because I used a hot glue gun instead of just more paper towels and tape, I thought it would be a little bit easier to build up its legs to make it look like it's coming more out of its body. So I just put a little bit more glue around the head part of its body so that it looks like that the legs are more interconnected. After we finished all that, I figured we should texture this bottle, make it look a little bit more old and authentic. So this is a really simple process that I found. You want 1-ply paper towels, so I actually just rip a sheet in half thickness wise. And then I take some Mod Podge or just regular Elmer's glue and I water it down, add a bunch of water and soak the whole paper towel in there. And you just wrap it around and cover the entire bottle. You'll want to make sure that the paper towel is as smooth as possible, and you want to push it down around those creases and corners that you made with the spider so that the spider stands out of the bottle more. We do the same thing to the lid. This will be a lot harder though because the spider is a lot smaller. So I use I actually had a stick lying next to me, so I just used this stick to kind of push the paper towel down so that those corners for the spider stand out and the spider looks more 3D. I'm going to be putting these out every Monday, so don't forget to hit subscribe to follow along and see what other creations we can make. So here I'm actually just smoothing out those larger pieces to make sure that they stay down really tight. We'll do other projects where we actually use this method, but we wrinkle it up so it looks it has a different feel and look to it. But for this one, I figured it would be better if it was smooth, taut, and very tight. So to do that, I'm just pushing my finger down on it here throughout. And again, when you see my little cap, I use a stick. And I only do one coat of this over the whole thing, but however my lid, I ended up ripping some of it off, some of the paper towel off, so I wanted to go back in and fix the parts that didn't have that texture. So that's why you see me adding more Mod Podge here to add that texture to the lid more. And then we just do a base coat of black, which I use spray paint just because that's faster. But if you don't have any spray paint, any black paint will do. I actually went in and took a fine brush and painted in a web going across of it. The brush I had was really old and just stiff and hard, and that's what I wanted. I didn't have a really small, fine brush. I just needed something that was really firm so that the painting would look like a straight line. To make the web, I picked a center point and just pointed straight out around as far as I could go and staying on the bottle. And then I just painted straight lines in between each line to connect them and tried to make more of a circle shape around with them, connecting line to line. But the part I messed up on is I didn't want this black. I wanted it to dry brush a little bit lighter black or gray on top of it to make the bottle look a little better. And I did that after I did the web. I should have dry brushed the gray on before I did the web. It would have been a lot easier, because now I had to go in between each of my little web marks and even touch up some white if I went over it. To dry brush, you just take a little bit of paint on your brush and rub it off onto something else like a hand or more newspaper, and then just paint it on lightly so that black will still shine through. After it finished and dried, I thought the spider blended too much into the bottle and I wanted it to stand out more. So I just took some black paint and painted the spider back up and removed that dry brushing I did to it. I did this again, both the lid and the bottle. My spider was going to be a black widow, so I took some red paint and painted in the back, the little dot that appears on the back, and then I painted with the red some eyes. I did the same thing to the lid. My brush wasn't fine enough, so I thought the eyes didn't look very round or real, so I actually just painted back black over it. So I took a marker and drew in the eyeballs instead, but the marker didn't stay on very well, so since I didn't have such a fine brush, I actually just dipped the head of the marker into some red paint and put it on. That way the circles were more round. Maybe a toothpick would have been better instead of ruining my marker. Can you imagine seeing a spider this big, especially a black widow? That'd be terrifying. It's like the size of my hand. Alright, let me be honest with you guys. Spider Potion's a terrible name, but I am uncreative with names. So what should I name this sucker? Now at the end I want to go over what I learned so I could be better and so that yours can be better. Now this isn't necessarily something that would make it better, but I would have liked to actually have textured the bottle first and then textured and made the spider and then stuck it on so that it would stand out more from the bottle. We'll be making more potions in the future. I might be building a secret project to combine them all. So subscribe. Alright, tell me below what you guys think. Tell me what you want to see next.